Here is Tony San Diego. Great to have you on the EIB network, sir. Hello.
Bruce, how you doing?
I'm fine and dandy. Thank you, sir.
Say, I was a listener since 1984. I heard I was supposed to hate you. I'm an African American.
1984. That means you must have lived in Sacramento at one time.
I lived in Sacramento after that. At that time, I was living in the Central Valley in a place called Visalia.
Central Valley. Okay. So as an African American, you're supposed to hate me.
Well, I was told by the guys in the neighborhood that I was supposed to hate you, and I asked them why, and they couldn't tell me. Then I turned to your show one day, and you said you have no respect for somebody that hates you, that don't know you, but if I give your show 6 months and I hate you, that you'll respect me. So I thought, hey, that's fair to me.
Well, something like that. It was 6 weeks, but I said, if you listen and still hate it, I'll have a little bit more understanding. But if you've never listened and still have this hatred, it makes no sense. You're right about that.
So that's what I did. I've been hooked, and my family's been hooked, and everybody I run to, I turn them into ditto heads, or they get away from me.
I appreciate that. I thought that might be where you were going, but I didn't want to assume anything. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I thank you because your program of advanced conservative studies has really opened my eyes to what's really going on in America, and I just thank God for you and Trump and what's the guy comes on after you? I'm brain stuck. God. Anyway, first I called about the firefighting thing. I'm a retired.
Well, you're thinking of Sean Hannity.
Sean Hannity, that's
right.
it.
Right, Sean Hannity. Well, God bless you out there, Tony. We all appreciate your kind words. We really do.
Thank you. You know, I was one of the first black firefighters in the wildland firefighting here in California. We started in 1969. There was 55 of us. We were sent as an elite group from the Conservation Corps. And but anyway, after that time, you know, I went back to the Conservation Corps and I fought fire there off and on for over 20 years. But I was telling your screener that during the 70s and 80s, we had 60 camps of about 250 workers, and we maintained the forest. And then before I retired, I was up at town where we were working on such a project. And man, those tree huggers would come out there and they'd attack my crew and they'd run us out of there. And so now instead of having 60 camps, they're down to 17 camps, and they've closed a lot of inmate fire camps. And Rush just has a powder keg waiting to go off over here.
Well, I'm glad to have you call and confirm it because it's exactly the case.
And it drives me nuts because, you know, the Forest Service used to, and I don't have to get off the phone here, but the Forest Service used to allocate somewhere around $80 million for every ranger district. And we would go out and do lopping and thinning and burning and clearing, and then we'd put wood out for the public. And Rush, they just shut it down.
I know.
Shut all that
You'd
down.
even do controlled burns. You would do controlled burns to take that away as fuel for an eventual fire that might start down the road.
That's correct.
You used to do all this kind of stuff that now the environmentalists will not let you do in California. When the state owns the land, if you got a bunch of leftists or socialists running the state, they're going to listen to their buddies, the leftist socialist agitators and protesters.
Yep.
And it's just it's another bit of evidence of private ownership is always going to end up with better quality and better stewardship than state ownership. There's just it's not even arguable.
That's right. One last thing, Rush. I connect this thing to the homeless situation out here in California. Most of our people, 90% of our people in the Conservation Corps, they were homeless youth. They came in and we gave them a sense of direction, taught them a trade, and they left and went out and they got on their feet. And I think a lot of that is directed toward the homeless situation. We also had a federal program like ours.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you took the homeless and trained them to do stuff that would help you?
That's right. During the off season, we took them out into the woods for 10, 20 days at a time to do that reforestation work, stream clearance, all of that stuff. That's what we used was the homeless.
Well, good for you. You sound like you're doing the Lord's work in any number of ways out there, Tony.
Well, I got a program to eliminate homelessness. I just got to get a hold of Trump and Dr. Carson. They're hard to get hold. I was surprised to get a hold of you. I've been trying to do that for a year and a half. But I've talked to you twice before, though. It's been a while, but I said,
I'm glad you got through. Look, those are tough people to get hold of. Even I, a powerful, influential figure in the media, have trouble getting hold of.
Like I said, I was surprised I got a hold of you.
Well, now look, Tony, I got to tell you, when I worked in Sacramento, 1984 to 87, routinely firefighters contract, not it wasn't their steady job. These are volunteers that would go out and fight these fires, and they would call and talk about it. And it's how I learned what goes on. I'm not just making this stuff up. The leftists in that state literally will not let you touch nature. If it's there, it's meant to be there, and you can't. If it's kindling that is going to fuel an eventual fire, you can't clear it, you can't take it away, and state owned. Even on private property, they will try to stop you from doing this on property you own. Much like they have stopped farmers from encroaching on so-called endangered species, like the snail darter or whatever. I'm telling you, they're a disaster. They help disasters, they cause disasters, and they promote them. Doing what they think is best or right or what have you. Anyway, Tony, I really appreciate the call, and it's great to hear from you. Merry Christmas to you and your family and everybody doing what you're doing out there. We'll be back in moments. Don't go away.